People are surprised. The most minor of criminal offenses on the criminal system could be a major offense on the immigration.
So if you have a criminal case and an immigration case at the same time, what's the best way to get help? We're going to find out right now, because that's what we're going to ask the lawyer on today's episode. Hi again, everybody. I'm Rob Rosenthal with AskTheLawyers.com, and my guest is New York City attorney Cory Forman. I want to remind you right off the top, if you want to ask Cory questions about your specific situation, it's easy. Go to AskTheLawyers.com, click the button at the top that says Ask a Lawyer, or you can call the phone number that you see on the screen during our conversation. Cory, good to see you. Thank you for helping us out again today.
Thanks so much for having me, Ron. Appreciate it.
So I know in your law firm, you helped launch a division that you call Crimmigration. Tell me what that is. Tell me more about it.
Well, Crimmigration, it's the intersection of immigration and criminal. It started out as a criminal defense lawyer, and a few years after that, I picked up immigration, and I was very interested in the collateral consequences. So the division now, 15, 16 years later, it focuses on anything related to where the two areas intersect. So in the criminal context, non-citizens charged with crimes, non-citizens who have criminal convictions that they need vacated through post-conviction relief, we specialize in those areas. On the immigration side, if there's an immigration case where there's a criminal issue in the background, we're going to handle that, whether it's a waiver, whether it's an affirmative filing, whether it's someone put in removal proceedings for a criminal case. So anytime the two areas intersect on either playing field, immigration or criminal, we represent clients.
Oh, I guess they must intersect quite often, that enough so that it made it where you guys feel like this is a good area to cover. How often does this happen?
I mean, it does happen a lot because, people are surprised. The most minor of criminal offenses on the criminal system could be a major offense on the immigration. A classic example, is a marijuana case. Well, marijuana is becoming decriminalized state by state. It is still a crime under federal law. So people are very surprised to find out that, if they want to adjust status to a green card holder and they have a marijuana conviction where they paid a $50 fine, they're inadmissible to the United States unless they qualify for a waiver. And we will help with that waiver. And that's the immigration level. Taking that same case, if the person doesn't qualify for a waiver, we're going to need to go and get some post-conviction relief in criminal court, where we're going to take a motion and litigate it in criminal court. Now, I use marijuana as an example, but then we'll do it for very significant crimes. If it's really jamming someone up on the immigration level, we're going to take a post-conviction motion and seek relief to have the conviction vacated. And then again, in the immigration context, if there's a criminal background, small or large, that complicates the person's immigration case, we're going to diagnose the problem. How do we deal with it? And then, whether it's through a waiver or defending a charge of removability, it comes up in a lot of different contexts. And at Cory Forman Barone, we're really one of the few lawyers really in the country that handle that specific area of law.
So do you take referrals or work as co-counsel with other firms that need these areas?
Well, the answer is yes. I mean, we do both. A lot of times, a criminal defense attorney who's representing a non-citizen isn't going to be so comfortable, grappling with the immigration issues, because a non-citizen is going to have different goals and a different agenda on how they want to litigate their case than a citizen. So sometimes the criminal defense attorney is just not going to feel comfortable with that criminal case because the immigration issues are so significant and refer it to us outright. Sometimes they're going to bring us along as co-counsel. Well, they'll work on the primary part of the case, but we're there to help draft, a specific plea agreement, explain the consequences to the prosecutor, work with the client and helping them understand the immigration consequences. And again, a lot of times in the criminal context, there's going to be post-conviction relief, where we specialize in taking motions to vacate convictions that have a certain immigration consequence. And on the immigration side, you have a lot of lawyers that do different areas of immigration law. The Immigration Act is very thick. There's different kinds of subsections. There's business immigration, there's family-only immigration, there's asylum work, there's consular practice work where they're dealing in the consulates overseas. And anytime a criminal issue comes up, they're going to refer either the case to us or that specific part of it. An example I'll use is we have a lot of relationships with business immigration lawyers. We don't do any business immigration law here. But if an employee that's getting sponsored has a certain criminal background that's hurting their green card or visa issue, and a waiver is needed, or an analysis of a criminal conviction is needed, or possibly vacating that conviction, that business immigration attorney is going to contact us and have the client deal with us on that particular issue. So we get referrals from both areas, both as co-counsel and as to be the primary attorney.
So what areas and jurisdictions in New York do you practice?
Well, in New York, I mean, on the criminal end, Cohen Forman Barone is licensed in New York and in the federal courts around the country. But in terms of state courts, it's New York. That's including the city, upstate, Long Island, the village courts, any court in New York State, and federal courts across the country. Immigration law is federal. So, the firm Cohen and Forman Barone, we practice everywhere, all over the country. I've done immigration cases in Texas, Louisiana, Atlanta, obviously New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, because it's all federal-based law. So we go all over for that.
Did you trademark that Crimmigration thing? I love that.
We started. I don't want to take all the credit. I mean, we're definitely one of the first to use it. We started doing a lot of this work before the Crimmigration consequences became so significant. There were a few others. I'm not going to take all of it, but a little. I think people say that imitation is the highest form of flattery. So.
And you're being modest. Thank you for answering our questions today. I appreciate it. Really interesting conversation. Thank you, Cory. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you.
That's going to do it for this episode of Ask the Lawyer. My guest has been New York City Attorney Cory Forman. I want to remind you, if you'd like to ask Cory questions of your own, it's easy. Go to AskTheLawyers.com, click the button at the top that says Ask a Lawyer, and I'll walk you right through the very simple process right there. Or you can call the phone number that was on the screen. We're talking to Cory. Thanks for watching. I'm Rob Rosenthal with Ask the Lawyer.